Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. This is Harrison Stone. I hope you're having a wonderful day, minus all the stuff that's going on, all the scare, coronavirus. Hope you're having a great day, staying safe. But time for the matter at hand. I'm going to be doing this speech on how to prepare for a cross-country or track race. So, my main points I'm going to touch on, 3. How you should prepare at practice for high school, how many miles you should be running, what you should be doing at high school for your practices, and what kind of workouts you should do outside of practice, such as like out-home workouts or running outside, or just doing workouts in your house, such as upper body workouts, core workouts, and leg workouts. Then my second point, what you should be eating and what you should not be eating. Then on to the last and final point, which is what you should and should not be drinking. So, when it comes to running, what you should be doing running for your practice at high school, how many miles you should be running. Typically your coach, depending on how fast your times are, say if you have a fast time, your coach will tell you, go ahead, run about 3 miles easy, nothing too hard. Say if you're more on the slower side of running, he's going to basically have you push yourself a little bit harder and get yourself prepared better for the race, before race day. He's probably going to be like, I want you to run about 4 to 5 miles and push yourself a little bit. Faster pace than normal race pace before. And so, when it comes to that, you got to be in the right mindset. Because if this isn't here, if your mindset is not there during practice, it's not going to be there at all for race day, and you're not going to do good. It's mind over matter, as what my coach used to say during practices, because he always told us, you always have to think positive. You can't think negative in practice or during a race. So just always listen to your coach, because he knows what he's talking about. Run the miles, because he wants to see you succeed, and just push yourself. And it's all about pushing yourself. Cross country, it's a very gutsy sport. It takes a lot of guts to step up to that line and just run 3 miles without stopping. I've been there. It is bad, but at the very end, it feels amazing. So that's for practices. Just do the miles your coach says. He'll just straight up tell you to run. And then you might be wondering, well, what about when you get home? Is it time to relax at home, or it's an off day? Coach said we get to go home, so I finished all my homework. I'm home just relaxing. Well, use that time wisely. Once you finish your homework, what you should be doing is take those miles you ran at high school or college practice and just run in the neighborhood. So say if your coach said, run these 3 miles on the school campus, you should run those 3 miles in your neighborhood to still get yourself prepared. Then, after that run, go ahead, relax, cool off. Then it's on to the, inside workouts without weights, such as upper body, core, and legs. And the reason why I touch on those 3 is because those are 3 parts of your body that are really getting worked out when you run. Because when you're running, you're pumping your arms, and you're using your shoulders and your upper body. And if you have a weak upper body, you're going to cramp in your shoulders, you're really going to cramp in your arms, and you're not going to want that. It's not going to be a very fun race day, and it's going to be very painful in the end. And core, it comes down, because if this gives out on you in the middle of a race, you have your core as a backup. Because when you're running, you're doing a lot of forward motion and backwards motion. It's like you're doing sit-ups while at the same time you're running a race. And that also helps you from preventing getting cramps in your core area. So the core workouts someone should be doing, you don't have to do a lot. You can just do a few basic core workouts, such as sit-ups, planks, or oblique twists. So the sit-ups mainly work out your middle part of the core. And the planks work out your obliques. Then the oblique twists also work out the obliques, but not just the front. They work out this back side too. That helps prevent cramping. Typically, and I say this as experience, I do about 4 reps of 100 sit-ups, 4 reps of about a minute long planks, then 4 reps of 40-second oblique twists. Now, everyone's body is made differently. If you can only do, say, 20 sit-ups, do 20 sit-ups. If you can only do, let's say, only just a few seconds of the planks or a few seconds of the oblique twists, that's perfectly fine. Always listen to your body. And then just go on from there. But then you are eventually going to want to push yourself when it still comes to that. You don't want to just be sitting there and keep doing those same times and same amount. You eventually want to bump it up because you want to try to strengthen your core, upper body, and your legs. And when it comes to the legs, you should typically do lunges. Lunges help your thighs, and they also stretch your thighs too, which warm up your muscles. And the wall sits is basically you lean your back on a wall, kind of like how I'm sitting on this couch, and you literally get into this position and hold your hands out in front of you, and that works out your calf muscles and your thigh muscles. And then the upper body, push-ups. Push-ups are very great. You'll have some people say, oh, push-ups, they're okay, but no. They are very good. They don't just work out your chest. See, people think it's just a chest exercise. No, they actually work out your shoulders too, which is key for running, and it helps you to do this a lot, do your stride a lot better and pump your arms better. And it also works out your triceps too, but you don't really use those for running. And then if you can only do a few push-ups of those, you can still do a few push-ups of those. Not push-ups of those. And then if you can only do a few seconds or a few minutes of wall sits, again, that's perfectly fine. It's your body. God made everyone different. God made everyone's body to adapt to certain things longer or adapt to things faster. Me personally, I was one who adapted slower. I would have to train harder, which is fine. Because how I put it, the people who train the hardest are always the ones who are going to succeed in the end of the race. Then, on to my second point. What you should eat is carbs. Carb up. Spaghetti, pizza, cheese pizza, not pepperoni, because sometimes that'll be spicy and the spices will give you heartburn. And keep the pasta just regular pasta. No salsa, no meatballs, just pasta. You can add a little bit of butter, maybe just a little bit, not too much. And those give you the essential carbs that will hold you over for your race, and you won't feel hungry. My coach, when we did cross-country practices, when we found out a race was coming up, he'd give us this list of, okay, these are foods you should eat that give you the essential carbs until race day. He said we didn't have to eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can eat them once a day just until race day. And what you should not be eating, junk food, such as chips, Snickers bars, chocolates, sugars. Those, if you just gorge out on those foods, you will feel like crap the next day. When it comes to race day, your body will be hating you, and you will not have the energy at all to probably even want to get up and run your race, because chips have a lot of salt, and then the sugars too. Your body's probably crashed by now from all that sugar you're eating. So the main things you want to be sticking to is foods with good carbs, such as pasta, pizza, and if you catch yourself out to eat, say, a Mexican restaurant, you can gladly eat the chips that they give you, or order some rice and beans because those also give you good carbs. So now time for the third point, what you shouldn't be drinking and what you should be drinking. There's only two things you really should not be drinking before a race, and that is milk and drinks that provide citrus stuff, such as orange juice, lemonade, limeade maybe. Stay away from those. Milk will literally hurt you in the middle of a race, because milk, when it's sitting in your stomach and you're running, you're getting hot as you're running, and that milk will curdle in your stomach, and you will throw up in the middle of a race. You do not want that. Orange juice, same thing. It just doesn't curdle. It just gives you heartburn, and then you really start throwing it up. So what you should be drinking is waters, Gatorades, protein shakes, but not with water. Protein shakes without milk. If you can, it's going to be disgusting. I prefer milk in my protein shakes, but when it comes to races, you should always just put water in your protein shakes. Therefore, you won't be throwing that up in the middle of your race. So to recap on those points, all three of those, just run your miles that your coach says. Push yourself, push yourself, push yourself. Always put that in your head. Do your workouts when you're away from school, such as your upper body, core, and legs, and also run the same miles in a neighborhood when you're home. Carb up on good foods and stay with the waters and the drinks. Stay away from milks and citrusy drinks. Stay with waters and Gatorades. And that will conclude my speech. Have a blessed day.